Have you ever noticed that some iPhone photos just don't look as great as they could? Most of the time, it's not the camera, it is the settings. Hey there, it's Alex here again, and in today's video, I will be sharing with you the best camera settings for your iPhone 16 and 16 Pro Max. So if you're a person that wants to extract the best quality images coming out of your iPhone, this is definitely the video for you. Now, if you've recently switched over from a different manufacturer, whether it's from Samsung or Google, the new camera system on this might take a little bit of getting used to, but no worries, I'll be sharing with you my current camera settings for this phone, and this will allow you to have the best image and video quality coming straight out of your iPhone 16 or 16 Pro Max. But just to give you guys an outline of the three camera that is currently on this phone, there is a 48 megapixel main camera, also known as a fusion camera, especially when you're using the camera app, and this is the primary camera, offering a focal length of 24 megapixels with a f-stop of f1.78. and what this allows is when you're shooting in conditions that are extremely dark, the camera will let in a ton of light because of the low f-stop, and this will result in you having more vibrant images taken on your iPhone. Next is the 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, and this has a focal length of 13 millimeter but a little bit higher f-stop of f2.2, and this is a great camera, especially if you're doing wide shot. And then along with that, we have a 12 megapixel 5x telephoto camera, and this gives you a range or a focal length of 120 millimeter and goes up a little bit on the f-stop to f2.8. Now let's talk about photography styles, but let's trigger the camera app, and because I'm using the new iPhone 16 Pro Max, I could easily trigger the camera action from this camera action button that I have right here. So if you're a long-time user or you're new to iPhone, there's something that has been released, especially with the new iOS update, and this is called the photography style. So you could easily access this by clicking this little button on the top right hand corner of your phone. So as you can see, there's different undertones or moods that you could get from, you know, switching between this particular photo style. But for me and for other individuals who have a little bit darker skin tone like myself, I've made adjustment to better enhance the quality of images that I will be getting from my iPhone. And as you can see, I have it to the standard undertone settings, and as under the top, the tone that I'm using is 17 and the color is 78, and I feel like I've adjusted and I've played with this for quite some time, and this is the undertone that matches and kind of brings out my skin color to the best of the phone's ability. So if you want to copy the settings down, just remember that the tone is 17 and the color is 78, and this is my current photography styles. And later on, I show you how I have in the camera app settings to have this automatically saved, so each time I'm going back and taking photos, this particular settings will consistently pop up and not reset. Okay, so let's now jump into the camera app settings on your settings page, and this is the heart of how you configure to having the best camera settings for your iPhone 16 or 16 Pro Max. And I'm pretty sure some of these settings that I'll be sharing with you could be used with either the 15 Pro or the lesser compatible versions of the iPhone. So first thing on the top, we have camera control, and as you can see, just a single click opens up your camera, and this is where you have the photography styles. But I kind of like setting up my photography styles in the camera app that I just showed you guys, and this I think is a little bit easier getting into. So let's jump into the recording video. So for me, most of the video quality or most of the content that I like to record is gonna be a at 4K at 24 frames per second. I know other individuals like 4K at 30 or 4K at 60, but for me particular, I tend to just like using 4K at 24 frames. None of these will pretty much differ in the quality of your video, just some minor frame rate settings. But for an average user who don't know much about the frame rate, I would just recommend having it stay at 24 frames or even at 30 frames. And then apart from that, if you're in any of these countries, whether it is Europe, Africa, Asia, or South America, I would suggest show PAL formats. But for me, I don't have that. And then I have enhanced stabilization, which is great, especially if you're doing action content or if you're vlogging yourself. The stabilization on this camera is amazing. And then I also have HDR more video mode enabled and auto switching between 30 and 60 frame rates. The rest of the settings for this I have turned off, like locking your camera and locking the white balance. I don't quite use that. And then let's jump into the recording of slow-mo. So you want to have your content record in slow-mo. For me in particular, I have it at 4K at 120 frames per second. But if you're someone that consistently records and posts to social media like Instagram or those in-app social media platforms, I would suggest recording at 1080p at 240 frames or also 120 frames, because I don't believe even Instagram supports up to 4K at 120 frames, but I double check that before I release this video. And then for recording at cinematic, the best is 4K at 30 frames per second. And if you're vlogging, as many individuals do, especially with their smartphone, the recording of the audio settings, I would suggest leaving it to mono. Spatial audio sounds great, but I would just recommend sticking to having it in mono settings. And then for formats, this is probably the heart of capturing exceptionally well good video and audio quality. So for the top, I would enable mine to high efficiency, not most compatible, and I would stick with the photo mode at 24 megapixels. And then if you record in something like a log format, and this is a professional recording settings that allows you to capture as much dynamic range of pictures and images and just colors from your phone itself. And then after, in post-production, you would enable something like a LUT, also known as a lookup table, in order to extract and enhance the image of your phone. That is kind of a complex process, something that I would not necessarily go over in this video, but I would suggest, if you want to have the best recording settings, and I'll probably do a video on this, just enable the Pro RAW and resolution control and set it to Pro RAW Max, which is 48 megapixels, and then the Pro RAW JPEG lossless, which is most compatible, and this is the one that I've stick with, and I haven't had any issues so far using that. And then, as I said, using Apple ProRes, and the ProRes recording is log, which is extremely great. And if you've actually watched the Apple event, like when they say they record like these music videos with their iPhone, they don't necessarily record it in something like a HDR settings. Most of the time they would use like a log settings, and then in post productions they would do the editing to get the colors to look so nice and cinematic as you see on your phone or camera, whatever screen that you consume content on. And remember when I was mentioning to you guys that when I'm recording, I want to preserve the settings of some of the things that I just showed you guys with the photography style. So this is where you go, you just tap into the preserve settings, and as you can see, the settings that I'm currently preserving is camera mode and the control center, along with the photography styles. These are the most important that I consistently use, and I want it to be preserved. But for the rest, like creative controls, depth control, macro control, and even exposure, these, to be honest, once if I make an adjustment, once I go back in, I would like it to be reset along with the night mode. And then portrait mode, action mode, don't necessarily use those. And as I mentioned, using the Pro RAW resolution settings. And then for the output ProRes, most of the times if I'm using this to record, I would make adjustment based upon the scene that I currently have. So for this, I would like it to consistently repeat. Live photo could be a little bit controversial, but I kind of like having live photos because I'm a person, let's say I'm taking a photo of my daughter, sometimes I want to see the live photo, like I could relive the moment, so I kind of keep that on. And then for the rest of the settings, use volume up for burst. I don't have that turned on. Just a regular scan QR codes, show detect text, and then using grid and level. These are extremely important. Using the grid actually allows you to frame your subject in the photo as best as possible, and then having the level make sure that you're taking the photo at the right level. And sometimes I even use the level to level other things with the grid itself. And then we have the mirror front camera turned off, and view outside of the frame is turned off. To be honest with you, the reason why I turned this off is it doesn't make sense that I view the rest of the frame, and when I take the photo I'm unable to access it. So I just turn it off, so you see those black bars around your frame itself, and this tells you that nothing apart from this you'll be able to get in the photo once you take it. So no need for either me or anyone using my phone to snap a photo, and then after they looked at the view outside of the frame and they thought this was a part of it, just to remove that confusing element, I've disabled this. And then we have the Fusion camera, which I did talk to you guys about, which allows you to do 28 and 35 megapixels, and default is 24, which is great. 24 is the focal length that I use a lot. I believe that I'm recording right now probably at 24. Now let's look at some of the image quality that you get from doing this. But before I do that, I want to do a quick shout out to Casetify. I have been rocking these vibrant and super protective screen protectors and case from Casetify, and let me tell you, they have been a game changer. I'm pretty clumsy when it comes on to not dropping my phone, so having their Ultra HD screen protection has been a lifesaver for those times that I've actually dropped my phone. Not only are they incredibly durable, but they also look amazing. These cases are from their Impact series, which are designed to handle drops like a pro without adding bulk. And because I'm loving them so much, I'm giving away 2 cases. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel, follow my Instagram, and drop a comment below saying, "Yeah, I watched to the end." Don't miss out on this chance to upgrade your phone protection with some style. Now I feel like that wraps it up for this video. These are the camera settings that I recommend to anyone using something like an iPhone 16 or 16 Pro Max or whatever version of iPhone that you have. I believe even the iPhone 15 Pro Max also supports the settings that I just showcased to you guys. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of this giveaway, remember to do 2 things: like this video, as usual, share your thoughts in the comment section below, but make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and also follow me on Instagram. The links to all of those information will be in the description below, and all you have to do is say, "Yay, I watched this video till the end," and I'll share with you guys. I'll pick a winner after 2 weeks to send over the phone case that you choose. And just remember, in order to be able to get one of these phone cases from Casetify, you have to have a iPhone 16 Pro Max, and just tell me which case you like and I'll send that over to you. But again, that wraps it up. I just want to say peace out, God bless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.